What is up, you beautiful people? Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I'm Marlakris. So I've had a lot of comments here and there, especially in the Facebook group, about how to do a scrub ombre with dip powder, not using any gel. So that's what we're going to do today. I've never showed you guys this. This little case I've got here is what I store dip powders in. I have tons of dip storage, but I love these little cases. I'll leave them linked down below in case you need dip storage ideas. But we're going to play with a few colors from Sassy Mouth. These colors are actually neon glow in the dark from one of the collections she released over the summer, but I figured they were perfect for like a spooky Halloween night type manicure. We'll do a little nail art later, but we're going to get right into the scrub ombre. So for this, I'm using my dip liquids. I'm using my Azure 2-in-1 dip base coat. It's my favorite dip base coat of all time ever. And I love this stuff so much. I don't know why. We all have our preferences, right? I just like the way it applies. I like the way it performs. I cannot contaminate it. I am reckless with my dip liquids, and I have yet to contaminate these. And I've used it as top coat too, and I've never had an issue. So if you need a good dip base coat, if you're in the market to try something new, I would highly recommend trying the Azure. Again, link down below. So for the scrub ombre, what I'm going to do first is put down 2 full dips of the lighter of the 2 colors. I'm using purple and blue. The blue is much more deep and pigmented, so that is the color I'm going to scrub. That is, I think, super important and key when you're doing a scrub ombre. Essentially what you're doing when you're doing a scrub ombre is you're staining the first color with the second color. It's a stain. You're not applying more pigment. You can do the tap ombre method. That is where you'll use the 2 actual dip powders to create the ombre. With this method, the scrub method, you're really just staining using the pigment from one of the dip powders or acrylic or pigment powder. You can do this with anything that you want. You're staining that first color. You can even use very pigmented eyeshadow to do the scrub ombre method. But if you're going to use eyeshadow, you want to make sure that you're doing some sort of overlay on your nails first, like dip powder or acrylic or builder gel or whatever the case may be. You want to make sure you have structure because eyeshadow does not have acrylic in it. It's just pigment, so it's not going to give you strength on your nail. Anyways, I'm going to get the base coat down first, the base coat, base layers. 2 coats is my preferred overlay, but again, that'll depend on your natural nails. If you want to build an apex, do all that stuff first before we even talk about the scrub. As you can see, I'm only working with the 1 color for right now. I'm not even thinking about the scrub until I have my base overlay on my nails. And you can do this over extensions. You can do this over builder gel or rubber-based gel or poly gel or whatever situation you have going on your nails. You can do a scrub ombre over any of it. This is one of the most versatile nail techniques I think I've ever used. Super duper simple, essentially foolproof. Y'all can do this, I promise you, as long as you remember you're always going to use the lighter color first. That's going to be your base color, and then scrub over the deeper color. Of course, you want to make sure the deeper color you're using is pigmented. You don't want to use a sheer color. The pigment will just not transfer right. So you do want to make sure you're using a very pigmented, deeper shade. Yes, you can do this with a baby boomer. You can do it with pink and white. You're going to do a base overlay of your white and then scrub the pink towards the back of the nail. So you can do this with baby boomers. You can do this with any color combination you want. I think I might try to do this. Have I done it in the past? I'm not sure if I've done it. We're going to do it. I'm going to do red and black. You can even do nude and black. Whatever your heart's desire is, you can use the scrub ombre method, and I'm going to walk you through it. So I'm going to finish up this second coat of the purple, and then we're going to get right into the scrub, so stick around. So I finished up the dipping of the purple, and now we're going right in with the scrub. As you can see, I'm just using an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to start by tapping the blue into that purple. And I'm doing this to make sure that my base coat is kind of set, because you don't want to go mushing around wet base coat. Make sure your base is set first. And once you get the base set, you can do little scrubbing motions to really press that pigment in there and stain the purple. And it's really that easy. This is real time. This is real time. That's how quick it goes. Now I'm going to move on to the second nail. I'm speeding this up, of course. This is not how fast I usually move. I showed you the real time on the first one. Now to not be super repetitive, I'm just going to speed through the rest of the nails. But look at how fast this goes. And this is it. This is the magic. You don't need any special tools. This eyeshadow brush was less than $1 on Amazon. It's by Wet n Wild. It's my go-to ombre brush. I think it's actually a concealer brush, but I love it. It works so well for this technique. You don't want a fluffy brush. You want something with more dense bristles. That's, for me, I just find that gives the most effective scrub ombre. As you want to do a tap ombre, I prefer a fluffier brush, but for this brush works perfectly, and I'm just scrubbing that pigment in. That's it. You do want to encapsulate these with clear, because if you need to do any filing, shaping, buffing, you don't want to take off that top layer of color. That will disturb your scrub ombre. So this is one of those situations where I'm going to highly advise you cap in clear, just to make sure that after you work hard and get your ombre perfect, you don't disturb it with filing, shaping, or buffing. So I'm going to go ahead and cap everything in clear. Then I'll clean everything up, and we're going to add a little bit of nail art. Now, if you're wondering if this is going to stain, I know it looks a little bit scary, because when you have a powder that's going to stain your overlay like this, it's going to stain your skin. Because you're scrubbing, especially if you have little nublets like I do, I'm scrubbing it on my skin essentially because I just have very short nails. If you have longer nails, it probably won't be an issue. But the pigment does come off with soap and water. It even comes off with rubbing alcohol when I scrub my nails down after I file and shape and buff. So staining is a non-issue. I know it looks scary in the beginning, but I promise you it will come off your skin. It's just pigment powder. It's not going to be there forever, I promise. You got a better chance of marker staying on your skin longer than this. So just get up, wash your hands when you're all done, and the pigment will come off. I love the Scrubby manicure brushes. I use that pretty much every single time I do my nails, either with soap and water to wash my hands after, or with a little bit of rubbing alcohol to de-dust after I file and buff. Scrubby brushes, I'm telling you, they work wonders, as you're gonna see here coming up. So as you can see, I did my clear encapsulation. I'm gonna remove the excess, and I'm gonna bust out my Scrubby brush for this too. As you can see, I did take off a good bit of that clear with the fluffy brush, but look at the difference it makes when you use the Scrubby brush. Look how much more clear that's going to be. That's going to really prevent your finish on your nail to look bubbly and speckly. If you've ever had that happen, it's a clear dip powder problem, especially over darker colors. It can look a little bit grainy, but when you're using a Scrubby brush to take off that clear, the excess clear, you're not taking off all the clear, I promise, but the excess clear, getting rid of all of that will really eliminate that bubbly or grainy look to the finish of the nail. Now I'm going to go ahead and activate, do a little bit of filing, shaping, and buffing. As mentioned, we're going to add a little bit of nail art to this. Nothing crazy, and this is totally optional, but as an aside, can we just take a moment to appreciate this ombre? It looks like you're using one of those color changing dip powders, but if you've tried to use those with short nails, if you know, they don't work. And I love my little nublets. I love my shorties, but I can never use those color changing dips, and it frustrates me because they're so cute. But for this, it gives you that exact same look without having to use that powder and without having to use that powder with no transition because you have no nails. Anyways, I am going to cleanse off the nails with a little bit of alcohol. I did just the bare minimum when it comes to filing, shaping, and buffing. I cleaned up my free edge, cleaned up my cuticle line, went over everything with a buffing block, and that's it. That is all the filing, shaping, buffing I need to do for this application. And look, no staining, we're all good. So I played around a little bit. I don't know if you want to call this marble or like spooky trees or lightning. I don't know, but I'm just going to do some little lines. I'm using black gel polish. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to diffuse those lines with a little bit of alcohol. And that'll just give it a little bit of depth and dimension and make it look like something. I don't know what. I was going for like spooky Halloween night for no reason. But it's going to look super cool in the end because both of those dip powders that I used are glow in the dark. So wait till you guys see this with the glow. This is a little bit of a process, but it's so much fun to do. If you're like me, if you have anxiety brain and you need something to like occupy that space in your brain that has nothing to do, this is the perfect nail art for you because it's repetitive. So as you can see, I diffused the lines with some alcohol. Now I'm going to go back in and add more detail to the same lines that I did. Diffuse it again, and then I'll go in with the final detail lines. That is just what gives it extra depth, extra dimension, a little bit of extra interest. You don't have to do any of this. I was just feeling extra this day. And then I'm going to top coat with gel top coat. You don't have to use a gel top coat. You can use whatever kind of top coat you feel like you want to do. If you want to do this with acrylic paint and then use your dip top coat, you absolutely can. You can even use acrylic paint markers to do this. It's all going to work the same way. Now I'm going to go ahead with my Sassy Mouth Glossy Gel Top Coat. I'm going to throw this on all of the nails, and you guys are not ready for this glow. Are you ready? I don't know if you're ready. I'm going to get this cured for a full 60 seconds, and then I'm going to show you the glow. So here's what they look like just in my normal lighting with my ring light turned off, and they're gorgeous. But let's take a look at it in the pitch blackness. Look at this glow. It is insane. I love these so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was somewhat helpful for you, especially if you're wanting to do an ombre and you're not sure how to do it. Let me know down below if you found this video entertaining or helpful or something. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you do like it. If you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. I upload twice a week, every week. I hope the rest of your day is as beautiful as you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Love you, bye.